I'm Dr. Vicki Smith, President of McHenry County College. On behalf of the college and our Board of Trustees, I am pleased to welcome you to this year's ceremony honoring our veterans. I am grateful to be part of an annual MCC tradition that recognizes and appreciates our community's heroes. Before we begin, please help me thank the MCC Concert Band and the MCC Choir for providing such superb music for this event. A special thanks also goes out to the MCC Veterans Day Ceremony Committee for making this event possible. It is truly wonderful to see so many of our community's veterans in attendance today. At this time, I would ask anyone who has served in our armed forces to raise their hand or stand so that we may recognize their contributions. For what you have done and for the sacrifices you have made to protect our nation so that we may continue to have the opportunities we have and live in a country of freedom. Today is also, Today is also about honoring all who served, which includes those currently serving or those family members and friends who we have lost. Please join me in a moment of silence to keep these individuals in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you. McHenry County College is committed to the ongoing care of our veterans so that they and their families can get the support needed when they re-enter higher education. Because MCC is so focused on providing our community's veterans with a variety of educational support options, MCC has been named one of America's military-friendly schools by GI Jobs magazines, an honor that we all take great pride in achieving. I am so proud of the MCC community for embracing our veteran students. This support and commitment is reinforced by our Veterans Services Department, solely dedicated to assisting veterans with any need. In addition, our offices of financial aid, counseling, advising, and career services work to assist veterans through every step of their journey, from financing their education to seeking a new job or career path. Our Military and Student Veterans Association is also going strong, as you will hear from Micah Barkas later in the program. Before we begin, I messed up my order. Okay. I share all of this information with you today to reassure each of you that your own are being taken care of, and that everyone at McHenry County College has great passion for assisting our community's veterans through education, career, and support services. Thank you again for joining us this morning, and please enjoy the program. It is now my pleasure to introduce Kay Moorman, Executive Dean of Workforce and Community Development, to introduce today's speaker. Kay?
Thank you, Dr. Smith. This morning I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Don Kerfman. A part of the MCC community since 1991, Don has served as the chair of the accounting department for over 15 years. His contributions to the college are many. He was selected Faculty of the Year in 2005 and a National Excellence Award winner in 2011. Don retired from the Navy in 1994 with 26 years of service. He received the third highest peacetime medal for his outstanding naval service when he retired. He is a lifetime member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars and a strong supporter of honor flight for World War II veterans. Don continues to serve and enhance the lives of others. He assisted with the development of the Veterans Day commemoration at the college and is a faculty advisor for the Military Students and Veterans Club. Additionally, he was instrumental in implementing a VA satellite site for student veterans in McHenry. With an outstanding record of service to his country, community, and students, it is only fitting that Don is the keynote speaker for the Veterans Day ceremony. Please join me in welcoming Don Kerfman.
Thank you, Dr. Smith and Kay. Thank you for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Veterans Day ceremony of 2012. I am humbled to speak with you today. In honor of those who lost their lives and the millions who are suffering through the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy, and last night they got a nor'easter, so it was snowing on the New Jersey shoreline, would you please join me in a moment of silence for those people? Thank you. Did you know that the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington Cemetery was continued to be manned during Superstorm Sandy? As the storm came through, the honor guard was very vigilant and kept their posts. And that's indicative of how those honor guards are. They're tremendously gifted individuals, and they need to be commended for it. In 1968, I was a young high school graduate with a draft number of 2. Yeah, that meant that I was going to go to Vietnam. Yeah, a whole lot of head shaking out there. Yeah, in 1968, we had a draft. And if the lower your draft number, the sooner you were going to be called up. That was 44 years ago. Thank goodness we don't have a draft now. I decided to join the Navy following my dad and my grandfather, and so I enlisted as a seaman recruit and went to San Diego. I knew that if I joined the Navy, I would be able to have my warm bed and my meal, a hot meal every day, unlike other services, so that's why I joined the Navy. And, my first job was swabbing the deck. A lot of you are shaking your heads. Now, in the civilian language, that means mopping the floor. Yeah. Well, I had a supervisor who came by right after it rained and kept telling me, "How come the deck is wet? Get it mopped up right now. Get it swabbed." So that was my introduction to the Navy. Every time it rained, my job was to swab that deck. That was the cleanest deck on the ship, I think. After a few months of swabbing the deck, I decided to volunteer for Vietnam. Navy, of course, stands for Never Again Volunteer Yourself. But I was young, didn't know any better. My new boss needed a forklift driver to make deliveries. I asked about the steel plates that surrounded the cab and was told, "Don't worry about that." During my first delivery, lots of bugs kept buzzing the cab, and I found out they were not mosquitoes, but bullets. I think I set records for the fastest deliveries. I worked hard, like many people in the service, and I stayed in because it was a great opportunity for me. I had many deployments and was chosen to become a commissioned officer in the business branch of the Navy, the supply corps we call it. So I was in what you call a Mustang, 10 years enlisted, 16 as an officer. I was awestruck by the huge responsibility of being a commissioned officer. Imagine, you're now responsible for over 100 sailors' lives and over $250 million of aviation parts scattered throughout the nooks and cubbyholes of the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk. Very daunting task. The Navy community helps each other out. We always have. From boot camp we are taught to watch out for each other in training for firefighting and repair parties. When you're 500 miles away from the nearest land, you become very dependent on each other. The Navy's taught me about leadership. It means taking care of your sailors. Sometimes our junior enlisted need help with things like food and daycare and the necessities of life. When I was in and retired in '94, over one half of my junior enlisteds that had kids qualified for food stamps, but most of them were too proud to take it. I understand that the same percentage still holds true today. To me, that's deplorable. I can't tell you how often we service where we pass the hat for donations to help people get through. And I see a bunch of you shaking your heads. You know what we do. You just do what you got to do. Y'all take care of each other. Now that I'm retired, I give to my students and community, and of course my grandkids. As the XGI, the Student Veterans Organization faculty advisor, we seek to assist student vets who need a ride to the VA Center, a lead for a job, or someone just to talk to, or anything else. Our communities also need volunteers, especially in this holiday season. Food pantries, fish in McHenry, taking cancer patients, escorting them to the hospital for treatments, the Salvation Army. There's a never-ending list of those things that are needed. When I was asked to speak at this event, I thought about what I wanted to talk about. And I thought about over my career, all the people that were my mentors and that had taught me things that stayed with me. And I said, I'm going to take that with me and use that when I become an officer or whatever. And servant leadership came up repeatedly. What is servant leadership? It's leadership based on 3 assumptions. Leader has responsibility for their followers. Leaders have responsibility towards society and those who are disadvantaged. And people who want to help others do this by leading them. There's a number of principles associated with servant leadership from the Alliance of Student Leadership, including transformation as a vehicle for personal and institutional growth, personal growth as a route to better serve others, enabling environments to empower and encourage service, service as a fundamental goal, trusting relationships as a basic platform, collaboration and service, creating commitment, community building, and nurturing the spirit so that you can get more. Qualities of a servant leader include listening, empathy, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship of our resources, commitment to growth of people, and building community. An excellent example of student leadership is Ernest Shackleton. You may not have heard of him. He was an early 20th century explorer who, after his ship became frozen in the Antarctic, brought every one of his 27 men home alive, including an 800-mile journey in open boats across the winter Antarctic seas. It took him 2 years, but Shackleton's sense of responsibility toward his men never wavered. What has student leadership or servant leadership got to do with Veterans Day 2012? I see these very same qualities of servant leadership in our all-volunteer forces. These young men and women that go to war are really well educated. They have got tremendous skills. And I've had the pleasure of meeting a number of these at the recruit U.S. Navy boot camp when they come out from the Great Lakes to Moose Lodge and the VFW for Thanksgiving dinners. These recruits come from all over the world. It's not just U.S. citizens. I had the pleasure of this one group of seeing recruits from Iraq, Mexico, Kenya, El Salvador, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Saudi Arabia from last year's recruits. They all seek an opportunity for advancement, travel, and personal growth. We have tens of thousands of young men and women going into harm's way that live by these servant leadership principles every day. When they return from war, we have a responsibility to get them readjusted to civilian life. Now you're probably sitting there saying, what can I do? Okay, I'm about to help you with that. Every elected official, including those that were just newly elected, at all levels of government, I ask them to stand up and be servant leaders by serving the men and women returning from war. The government has obligation to help these returning veterans. We must cut the backlog of claims at the Veterans Administration nationwide. The VA in North Chicago is at a 10-year high of backlog of claims. The VA has hired a lot of good counselors, excellent counselors in fact, but sometimes it takes 6 months for our returning vets to see counselors. This only makes worse the highest suicide rate this country has ever seen from returning war heroes. Yes, we lose 18 veterans a day to suicide. That's more than combat. Yes, 18 a day. Veterans, I challenge you to get involved with your community and with veterans' causes. There are a number of organizations that need your leadership, passion, your commitment. Every day we lose over 1,000 World War II vets. They've been the leaders of the VFWs, American Legions, and there is a big leadership drain right now. If you don't like the way an organization is heading, for instance, the VFW, get involved. You can affect change. You can change the veterans world, helping one veteran at a time. If you're not a veteran, I ask you to take a look, listen to the vets when they choose to talk about their experiences. Counselors have told me this is the best way, any of us, to connect with our veterans. Just listen. Write your elected officials and tell them that you support veterans' causes. Of course, you can donate time and money to all veterans' causes, and I have a few I'm just interested in. J.A. Freight. Anybody seen their trucks go around the county? Yeah. They're a great supporter of the veterans. They routinely come here looking for people to hire, but they display the names of veterans that have made the supreme sacrifice, given their lives. I encourage you to shop and buy veteran-owned and operated businesses. If you're a runner or a walker, this weekend, Sunday at Little Park is a 5K that the Run for Veterans 2012 is sponsoring that. It's fall time, we're getting ready for Christmas, so the Marine Corps League is looking for toys for tots. They always seek donations. It's a great cause. No child should ever have to wake up on Christmas without a toy. Not our great country. Visit the North Chicago VA Center. Walk through the halls. Talk with the wounded vets. Thank them for their sacrifice and wish them best in the future. It's very heart-wrenching. Support the Wounded Warrior Program and the Disabled American Vets programs. The readjustments of these veterans and their families is very difficult, but you can make a difference. Continue to support the Honor Flight. We continue to send World War II vets and their caretakers to Washington, D.C., and it's just to hear those World War II vets talk about that. They said they never thought they'd ever see the World War II memorial. It's just awesome. Fifth Third Bank is sending care packages to deployed units overseas. And don't forget Applebee's and Golden Corral. It's two companies that have really supported veterans. They have free meals. Check it out. My fellow veterans, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your sacrifices on behalf of our great country. Because of your dedication and commitment to freedom, our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren can enjoy the highest quality of life in the world. To the people at MCC, and I see a number of you here, you work long hours to provide excellent support to our students and veterans, and I want to thank you for your compassion and your kindness from the bottom of my heart. I want to publicly thank our retiring Veterans Day ceremony member, Pete Kearns. Pete has been at MCC 30 years and has provided the pamphlets for the Veterans Day ceremonies. And in Navy tradition, Pete, I want to wish you fair winds and following seas and retirement. Good luck. In closing, to all of you in attendance, please take care of your returning veterans. Tell them thanks for their service, and please listen when they talk. Thank you, and God bless America. As the president of the faculty advisor for the Student Veterans Organization, I want to introduce Micah Barkus. He's our vice president of the Military and Student Vets Organization, commonly known as XGI. Every organization has a go-to person to get things done. Micah is that go-to person for veterans. He knows all the VA benefits and the education benefits as well, and he gets student veteran problems solved.
veteran myself, I'm honored to be able to assist vets in their academic pursuit. Obviously, it's the first time I've spoken in front of a large crowd. I work for Lynn McCabe up in financial aid office, and if there's a vet that has a need, I'll make sure I get it taken care of. If a vet has problems with paperwork, getting stuff paid for, or trying to find out what books he needs to buy or who to talk to, they can come up and talk to me. The purpose we have on the community and in this college is to help vets and help them go to school. And that's it. I'm done speaking. Thank you.
please stand and remove your caps for the retirement of the colors.